Hello, this is the OpenAI kind of like Hello World program, and I just wanted to show you how easy it was to get it to like write poetry using the text Da Vinci 002 model. And all I had to do is like put my OpenAI like little key thing in a certain location, and it gets set here. This is all you need to do to set it. After you would do this import, you're setting a location within that package to the value of your key, and so now you can just run queries like that. So here I am watching my API usage kind of go up. I'm up to like a total of a little over $3, pushing $4. I'll do a refresh and you'll be able to see it went up just a little bit since the last time. And the reason for that is I am running a script right now, actively kind of banging on OpenAI, and that is this script here. But here it is running. It's about 84, 85, 86 blog posts in, and it's going to go through all 500 or so of my blog posts. And you'll see here I have them sort of loaded in Vim, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit out of them. And in this directory, you'll see those, so far, some 80 files that have been produced. And I can edit all of them at once, Vim asterisk. And this is now a new slice and dice system. This is now my blogging system, which is putting together all this front matter, Jekyll front matter, and you can cycle through the different blog posts and you can see I'm sort of constructing them as really perfectly constructed markdown here. And these lines here are being what's edited in right now, written and edited in by OpenAI. So if I do set wrap, you'll be able to see the full description. Now granted, these descriptions are maybe a little bit long, but I'm letting it go long. I actually went out of my way to make sure it would process the whole blog post. All this token stuff is usually, you're sending much larger text for summarization than a single OpenAI transaction can occur. So I'm actually chunking my blog posts and getting little summary bits back, and then appending those summary bits back, and then that's a combination of this chunking function here and this summarizing function here, and that's actually hitting the OpenAI API and is returning the summarized text, and that summarized text gets used when creating the front matter of the blog posts. And if you haven't been following this, I am actually in the process of redoing my blog slice and dice system. So you might have seen me blog here. It's one long file. If I bring those numbers up, I can do Shift G, jump to the bottom, and you'll see at the bottom of the file, I'm some 73,000 characters in this thing. And so I have these parsing characters of these horizontal lines between each blog post. And so what that script is doing over there that you're seeing run is parsing these files. That's a long one. Wow, that's a long one. But it's scanning each of these files and looking for this parsing code, and then it's chopping this one large file into lots of short files. But I never bothered to write meta descriptions for these. I only ever put in the date, sort of a date stamp, and then a headline, right? I take the time to write the headline. If I don't write a headline, it's sort of held back in draft. It didn't used to be, but that's the way this new system works now. If I don't write a headline, it doesn't get accidentally published with a non-headline link the way it sort of used to. I've decided to change that behavior. And so I don't write discussions. I don't write descriptions, right? So there's not front matter here. I just go fast and furious. I stick to markdown with a visual beginning and end of blog symbol. And I don't do any of that markdown. I don't do any of the Jekyll top matter, front matter, top matter. Well, the stuff that gets put at the top that I was showing you a second ago, that is very meaningful to the Jekyll system. So you can see I now have descriptions put in. Some of them are quite big. This one here is just ginormous, right? That is a summary because the blog post was really that big. If I turn off wrapping, set no wrap, you'll see, it looks just fine when wrapping's turned off. But what I'm going to do is probably something in the templates or in the generation of these things, because it's pulling it out of a database. You might be wondering where I'm actually keeping this. I'm not just putting it in these markdowns, I'm throwing it into a database. You can actually watch that thing grow bigger. If we take a look at the code over here, as I layer this stuff in, let's see, I just searched for DB because it's going to be one of these DB things. So first I say, this is where the work gets done. I first set the variable equal to none. I open a connection to a database, and I say if that article is not in the database, go summarize it. Go hit the OpenAI API, summarize it, drop it into a local database, commit that database, or else if we already have it, set the summary value to what's already in the database. So I have these long descriptions already elsewhere. I actually am sitting on top of them. Set no wrap. Is that a global setting? Yeah, it's global. So we can just scroll through and you can see now I've got these description tags in here where I never used to. And that was OpenAI written, and my blog is going to be much better on the net because I've got these descriptions. And when they are too big, I can use logic now I could re-summarize that. I could summarize a summary. I figured it was better to get a thorough summary and throw it in the database than it was to try and squeeze it down even smaller on the first pass. So even though title tags, meta descriptions for SEO should be 140 characters or so, I've clearly gone way over 140 characters. I'll probably render it once out to my site with these mega long meta descriptions, but then I'm going to take another look on how to kind of pull it down get it a bit under control. Well, there you have it. I'm hitting OpenAI. I did the new blog publishing system. It's just fast and furious now. I am definitely in that sweet spot of where they say AI is adding superpowers to people who are already on the verge of doing stuff. I'm feeling that crackling energy from my fingertips, and this is just a wonderful example. So stick with me and I'll show you how to do this stuff. None of it's really that difficult. It just takes persistence and tenacity to back off, turn a little, try again, and that whole Roomba-like process of backing off, turning a little, and trying again is just so much more effective now with a pair programming intelligence sitting there in your text editor. So all that stuff that you've been seeing me do in the journal with getting recommendations, I get it here too. If I wanted to document something that I didn't document, I just go to an area and I just hit enter, and hit the AI will generally well, I guess it really is part of it. Doesn't want to suggest stuff there that really is described with the stuff above it. But if you have a undefined function, you can start putting those things in there. Write a post to the file, right? That's just put in there now. As a doc string, that was the word I'm looking for. And yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm kind of a fan of this autocomplete stuff, but I am so worried about becoming excessively dependent on it. I must not become sheeple. use it as a Iron Man super suit, slap on a mech suit, but don't rely on having the mech suit all the time. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.